Shannon Kaiser, and I am super stoked to be here with you today because the topic is hot. It's coming in, and I can't wait to share because it is a theme that is happening in so many connections right now, both with myself and in my coaching practice. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about certain relationship issues. Now, whenever you catch this video, uh, this can be something you can apply to your life at any time because we all have relationships with other people. And today's topic is about really understanding, is my relationship healthy, or how to have healthier relationships? And I'm going to frame it through the lens of subtle forms of mental and emotional abuse. I'm finding that many of us are in situations that we don't even realize are abusive until we start to realize this is misbehavior, this is mistreatment. I deserve better. I shouldn't be in this relationship, or I shouldn't be in this situation because your needs are constantly not being met, or you're feeling like you're doing a lot more work. There's a whole gamut of reasons. And then what we first have to recognize that everybody's on a healing journey, and everyone is, for the most part, if we could look at through the lens, doing the best they can, right? That's why you're here watching videos on how to feel better, how to improve, how to connect to your best self. But not everyone is committed to doing the work, and hurt people will often hurt other people when they're not aware of their hurt or they're not committed to healing. And so this video is really for you who is on the path of healing, the person who is really connected to, I want to feel better and I want to know what's going on and why I feel so unheard. I feel unloved, or maybe I feel like I'm unworthy. And that's where we come into this topic. So I'm going to share with you 5 steps that you can think of, not even steps, but just the lens in which you can look at your relationships and just ask, is it healthy? Now, if you're new here, welcome. I am a life coach and international bestselling author on the books, lots of books. One of them, the most recent, Return to You. Another one we have here, right here, Find Your Happy, which is a great book, Daily Mantras. Adventures for Your Soul, Self-Love Experiment. These are my books, and a mindset coach and an international speaker and self-love teacher. So everything I do comes through the lens of spirituality, self-help, and mental health and psychology to help us feel better in our bodies. But really, I'm here to help you live your best life by connecting to your true self. And we do that by knowing our worth and our value. So today's topic is so important. I'm going to give you the tools right now. So if you have a pen and paper, mini life coaching session, if you will, or just take in the information and enjoy. Now, number one, to how to understand if you are in a healthy relationship, I'm going to actually share through the lens of this is not healthy. So if you have people in your life who are in and out, hot and cold, up and down, you don't see them often and they come back when it's convenient for them, or maybe you're in a relationship where it's long distance and it's always on their terms, when you can talk, when you can see each other. This is not healthy. This is a one-sided dynamic. And this is often where one person is dominating the relationship based on their needs, and your needs often go unmet. So if you're in a relationship where it's a lot of hot and cold, in and out, start to recognize, why am I allowing this? What in me am I not allowing to speak up? Maybe you feel neglected when they're hot and cold, or they disappear, or maybe you feel like you need consistency, but you haven't actually shared that with them, or you haven't been honest with yourself about what you really value and need in a connection or a relationship. So with whatever's happening on the outside of ourselves, we want to look back within, and we want to really say, how can I show up to change this dynamic? Because a lot of the times when we were in unhealthy relationships, or we're in relationships with people who are toxic or in narcissistic kind of patterns, we lose control and we give our power away. That's what this video is about reclaiming your power and saying, no more. I'm going to be the star of my own life. I'm not going to be the character in someone else's movie. So today we reclaim the power. You get back to you, Return to You, which is a beautiful book that I wrote. And that's where these steps come from as well. So think about that. And step number 2, you can look at your relationships as it's the same idea. If you're in a connection where someone gives you the silent treatment, or there's a lot of intentional ignoring, maybe you have a really amazing time and you see this person, family member, significant other, coworker you hang out with, any relationship at all. And when you're in person, it's great, but then they disappear. You have no idea where they are. They become unavailable, or there's this, again, this in and out energy, but it's this idea of you being left in the dark. Maybe you're left unseen on your messages or unread for a really long time, days, weeks, months, and you just feel completely makes you feel certain ways, like maybe disrespected, or you feel like really what's going on. Now, what you want to do here is not take on the energy of other people. If other people are inconsistent or other people cannot be in a space where they can tell you what's wrong and they're giving you the silent treatment out of punishment, or they're playing hot and cold, these are games and you can refuse to participate in them. Just let go and recognize that when people do these types of things, it's their own insecurities. And it's like a child acting out. It's like a little child who's wounded and maybe they're mad at you, but they don't tell you. So they throw something at you like a silent treatment, or they refuse to open your message, and maybe they're not even mad at you. Maybe it has nothing to do with you, but you don't need to worry about anything. You don't need to take that on, because it's a very unhealthy dynamic and you cannot progress if you are not able to communicate with each other. It's just the way it works. And so when we really start to think about step number 3, it's this idea of, are you in a healthy relationship? If the connection is often talking about the future, and it's called future faking, where they will often paint a beautiful idea of the future, but they actually never really follow through. It's this idea of actions don't align with their words. They're constantly saying, yes, we'll do this, but then they cancel, they show up late, they don't follow through. If these are the patterns that are happening, then you're actually in a dynamic with someone who is more interested in their own selfish needs than meeting the needs of the relationship. And you're in a relationship and a connection with someone who is actually more interested in control and maybe even ego recognition. They want to have attention, they want to have more kind of acknowledgement than actually you and your own needs being met and feeling like you matter. So when we recognize that we're in relationships with people who sometimes can't meet us where we are, we first have to recognize it's not about us. It's about these people having an incapacity to open up, to love, to show up. And so we get to choose, is this enough for us? Am I going to stay in a situation that is not allowing me to feel like I can be myself? Am I staying in a situation where I feel constantly ignored, constantly misunderstood, constantly like my needs do not matter? Well, that then becomes about us or you, right? Your needs are important and you do matter, and you have very important needs that need to be honored, but you have to first honor them yourself. And that means you recognize that I actually am worth more than this mistreatment, because everything that I've shared so far is actually subtle forms of emotional manipulation and mental abuse. Every single one of these are actually detrimental to the health of you in a quality connection. And when we get into relationships, we often hear love prevails and forgive and just really just tough it out. But that's actually a very one-sided approach, because love is not enough if you're not being and feeling loved back. If you're constantly giving love, people pleasers out there, emotional empaths, sensitive souls, this is about you reclaiming your power and saying, you know what? I need consistency. I stand for people who follow through on their word. I will absolutely only allow people into my life who respect my time by showing up for me consistently. And if they're not, then that says more about them, and I'm not going to personalize it. It says nothing about me, because I know my worth, I know my value, and I deserve better. So that's what this video is about today. You deserve better. The fifth and final one that I will share is if people deflect or gaslight or blame. Gaslighting is also a form of manipulation, a form of trying to get you to question your own reality. So could look at something as simple as you share something that's important to you and they say, and ignore it, change the subject. It could be as simple as like, that didn't really happen. I think you're remembering it differently. And they try to make you question your reality so they don't have to take accountability. These are forms of emotional manipulation. And this really comes back down to, if you're in a relationship with someone who is not taking accountability, or maybe they apologize, but they don't have any changed behavior. It's really important to look at the signs, because all of what we're talking about today is subtle forms of emotional abuse and mental real manipulation. And you really want to get clear about the relationships that are sucking your life force and not treating you like the amazing, awesome person that you are, And then really start to look at that and say, you know what, this isn't serving me and I'm going to let it go. Or I'm going to energetically put in boundaries and tell them what I need. And they can either rise up and meet me or go your way in peace, love, and harmony, as Dr. Peebles and Summer Bacon say. So today, I wish you the best on your journey to your most authentic self. But this requires you being honest with yourself about all of your relationships and seeing where you're leaking energy and return that back to you. Thank you for showing up today. I'm so happy you're here. Leave a message in the comments if this is resonating for you. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for playing with the world.